There we are. We got it. Good morning, everyone. Sorry we're a little tiny bit late, but we're here today on EWN Network, and we're going to do the meditation today. We do one every day, and we are so blessed today because we have Ansley Weller to give us our meditation. Ansley is located in Los Angeles, and she is a writer, a producer. She works with teens, and she uses healing energy and meditation to have them work together in unison to do very wonderful content. And she can explain that a little better than I after she does her meditation. So I'm going to step out right now and let Ansley take it. And I hope you enjoyed. I'm very excited about hearing it. So Ansley, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to let you take it away, okay?
Thank you so much, Jean. It's so great to be back on the Enlightened World Network. And I love everything that you're right on. I think teamwork is so essential and so important, and meditation is a really solid foundation for all kinds of teams. And the name of today's meditation.
I'm sorry, I just remembered to record.
Yeah, the name of today's meditation is called Lights, Camera, Meditate. And it's basically based on a lot of what I've learned in the entertainment industry for practicing the presence. Being able, so let's just go ahead and get started. Just go ahead and everyone close your eyes. It's lights, camera, meditate. So go ahead and settle into your bodies. Make sure that your posture is very straight, your spine is straight. And go ahead and really focus your energy. Take a few deep breaths. This is actually something that we do in the writer's room. This is something actors do to prepare to be on camera or to be on stage. This is something singers do, is you just want to really practice focusing and getting into the flow state. Go ahead and activate your imagination. Activate your imagination. Take a break from your daily life and imagine that you are seated at a table with a bunch of creatives, writers, directors, actors, lighting people. Imagine you're at a round table and it's a table read. Everyone has a script. Now, go ahead. Do you see the table? What color is it? What kind of chairs are around the table? What kind of people do you see in this mastermind, in this writer's room? The script is about 110 pages. It's got broad clips. And the cover of the script says, Untitled, insert your name, project. So this is a script about you. And we are all coming together to look at your life, you included, as if it were a script, as if it were a movie. Imagine a group of people looking at your life and the today. What if today and the next 24 hours was the most important day of your life? What if this was the most important, most pivotal day of your life? Who are you at your highest level? Who are you as a protagonist? What is it like? What's going to happen to you today that's going to change you forever for the highest possible outcome? Go ahead and release any resistance that's coming up. Resistance is just a sign that you're expanding. So this is a time to put on your hero's cape, to put on your crown. You are royalty. Imagine you are seeing today, what is the problem? What is the task at hand? What do you need to do today to be the hero of your own journey? How can you view the obstacles of today as if it were a movie? I just want to ask you for 1 minute. What act are you in? What act are we in? We have the whole script. It's 3 acts. Are you in act 1? Are you in act 2? Or are you in act 3? How can we move you through all these acts today? How can you see your life from a bird's eye, big picture view? How can you see your life? Imagine if this particular writer's room that we're in, imagine if this particular story about you that we're trying to tell, imagine if this was a film that was seen in every country in the world. How would that change your perspective of your identity, of your character arc, of your personal story? Who are you? Who is this character? Not who maybe you want to be right this second, but who are you right here, right now? We need to see this from the perspective of the director, of the fellow cast members, of the writers, of the set designer, of the costume designer. Who are you? What phase of your life are you in? What season of your life are you in? And we all know that in order to turn coal into a diamond, we must apply pressure. Perhaps there's been an inciting incident in your life. Perhaps your home has burned down. Perhaps you got some bad news. Perhaps you're going through a transition. You're moving. You just got fired from your job. You just had a falling out with your best friend. That's okay. Because if your life was a movie, it would be a pretty unwatchable, pretty boring movie if no pressure was being applied, to you, this character. We want to turn you from coal and carbon into a diamond, into your crystallized, fully embodied form. The pressure is essential. Your trial can become your testimony, can become your story. Go ahead and take a few deep cleansing breaths. Really get present, really get in the moment. Really rise above your life like a bird's eye view. What is it that your character wants? A character is what a character does. How can you not just be auditioning, but actually being and embodying the part? How can you lose self-consciousness so you can do the task that needs to happen? Whether it's save the day, save the cat, save your child, save your relationship, move forward, build a company. What is your character? What does your character want? And what does your character need? Really tune into that imagination. What are the other writers saying? Maybe they're a little more objective about this story because they don't have all those beliefs attached to it that we might have about our own story. So what are the other writers saying about your story? Here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the writers are saying that they need this character to go, that this character is at a crossroads and that they need to go into the unknown. They need to go into the mystery. They know the other path. They know exactly where it goes. So it's going to be a more interesting journey or process or procedure if we write it so that they're going into the mystery, going into the unknown. This is going to help activate turn them from the carbon expression, the ordinary, into the extraordinary, into the multifaceted, multidimensional, beautiful diamond expression. We want to see courage. We want to see bravery as our hero, you, embarks on this journey. What act are we in? Are we in act 1, 2, or 3? What has happened? If we're in act 1, we're establishing your current reality, your current daily life, and something's going to happen today. What's going to happen? What is the catalyst? What is the inciting incident for today? Who are you? When you know your identity, you can be set free. When you know who you really are. Made in the image and likeness of love, made in the image and likeness of truth, our hero, our protagonist. Breathe in, breathe out. Let yourself expand into this new viewpoint of the observer. In act 2, there's going to be someone that helps your character, and there's going to be some kind of an opposition. So maybe there's someone in your life, or maybe there's a force in your life that feels like an opposition. Why don't we embrace that and know that it's necessary? Why don't we bless that and know that it's part of our story? It's part of our process of becoming, going from coal into the diamond state, going from straw into gold, to reference Rapunzel. And so why don't we just say thank you, thank you, thank you to that antagonist, that so-called antagonist. There's always going to be some kind of an antagonist. It might be technology. It might be a mother wound. It might be a father wound. Even Mozart had a father wound. So what is your particular character's genius? Get clarity. What is your particular character's genius? And what is your character's particular weakness or shortcoming? It's okay. It's okay, because in this movie, you're going to expand and you're going to slay that dragon today. Assistance is on the way. Help is on the way. Divine aid is on the way for your alchemical transformational process. This brings us to the third act, where you really have to face this demon head on. You really have to conquer this. You're in the arena in the third act. Now, you might see something external. You might see a dragon or a warrior or nature, whatever you're battling. But really, the main person that we're battling is ourselves. So imagine looking yourself face to face, another aspect of yourself. Perhaps it's your shadow side, your unconscious side. Perhaps it's a wounded aspect of your past. Go ahead and give that unconscious aspect of you a big hug. Shower that person with love, light. Witness that person, witness their pain, witness their heartbreak, witness their disappointment. Now see your villain. Know that they are playing a part in your movie, in your story. Witness their ignorance, witness their pain, witness their humanity. Breathe through it. Always go back to the beam. Always find your alignment, no matter what act you're in, no matter what is going on. Get back into your body, breathe through it, get still. Before you open any door, like any new scene, any new home, any new street, any car that you're getting into, whatever you're doing today. The cameras are rolling, the lights are on, whatever you're doing, bring your higher self with you. Bring divine love with you. Bring truth with you. Have a willingness to activate your divine diamond mind and your compassionate heart. your compassionate, brave, courageous heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, what teams are you on? Perhaps you're part of a household. Perhaps you are part of a community. Perhaps you're on a creative team. Perhaps you're already a producer or director or writer or grandmother or grandfather or aunt, uncle, sister, brother. Really take a moment to make a mental list of all the teams that you're on, all the cast of characters that you've been provided with. And become more of the protagonist, become more of the hero. And practice getting into your alignment, and then encourage your teams to take a brief moment of silence before a meeting. Maybe encourage your teams, if it's appropriate, to do a brief meditation so that you can all harmonize like we're doing today, so that we can all come together and witness magical movie moments. Sometimes you have to do the thing that scares you. What's that thing today that scares you? Maybe it hasn't presented itself yet. Be ready for it. Talk to that stranger. Every appointment is a divine appointment, not just the obvious things like the big shareholder meeting or the big audition or the big thing that's been on your calendar for 2 months. It's also the unexpected, mundane things. So be open and ready for those magical movie moments today. And practice transcending and imagining your life like it was a script. Asking yourself, when a difficult situation presents itself, why is this in my movie? Having the humility to ask a question, to know only a little. Why is this in my movie? This person or this difficulty or this conflict or this great event. Why is this in my movie? And what can I do to serve? What can I do to get out of self? What can I do to not make it about me, but rather the greatest good? But also knowing, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Feel the adjustment to your nervous system. We've really tuned into our imagination today. Little children, they use their imagination every day. Every day they're playing. How can we bring more of that 4-year-old genius energy into our daily lives? How can we make it safe for the creativity living within us to come forth and present itself? How can we breathe more throughout the day so that we can practice and cultivate the presence and the stillness and become more watchable, more inspiring, without trying, without being conscious of ourselves, but moving into a state of focus and a state of being. Thank you so much for doing this work today. From this place, let's just go ahead and from this mountaintop space, let's just go ahead and rest our thought on everyone who's right here, right now. Everyone in our building, in our neighborhood, in our family, in our respective cities. Let's share this divine love with everyone. Let's share this creative inspiration, imagination, and hero's journey with our neighbors, our digital neighbors, our physical neighbors, and all the nations, Ukraine, all the nations, all the refugees. Let's think about them as they're on their journeys. And may the divine protect them and guide them. May it guide us. What history is being made right now? What side of history do you want to be on? How can you look at the news and learn from it and take it and make it personal in your own life? How can you let go of your fear? How can you educate yourself? Let go of your ignorance. What are the ways? What are the ways you can let go of annoyance, anger, resistance? How can you release your resistance? How can you be more of a bridge? These are all the things that make up a great protagonist, that make up a great hero. How can we constantly navigate between the micro and the macro, the close up and the pan out, and the drone view? Why is this in my movie? Why is this in our movie? Why is this in humanity's movie? And what can we do? What can we be? How can we help? How can we serve? How can we leave our comfort zone and really grow? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jean and everyone, for doing this work. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. That was so wonderful. You know, I kept thinking through the whole thing. I was, trying, you can't totally concentrate like in the true meditation because you're the host, so you're kind of keeping track. But I kept thinking, we really do write our own movie. We write our own lives. And not only that, the way you connected it, that we're writing the world's movie right now. We're writing this story and we want to be such a good part of it. And I just loved it. And I love the way that you initiated the imagination. And I think a lot of people who have trouble meditating, that's their problem, is they can't ignite their imagination in such a way that they can visualize these things. And so that was just wonderful. And so that was beautiful. Could you maybe explain a little bit about what it is you do and how we can contact you? I know there's going to be people fascinated by what you were telling us. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how we can contact you.
Absolutely. Well, You can contact me through my website. It's foursquare.co. It should be in the notes. You can also find me I'm very active on Instagram. My handle is ansley.weller. I'm also on TikTok, Ansley Weller, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter, all Ansley Weller. And I also am producing the Modern Spirituality podcast, which we really are tackling some very thematic topics on that show. What is modern spirituality? How do we deal with discrimination? How do we address it? How do we embody being a good ally or a good role model? We are addressing a lot of these aspects that can, some of the reason people have trouble meditating is the shadow side. They're maybe afraid to feel their grief or their rage or their resentment or their fear. They don't quite know how to express it. So my experience is, like, what works for me is I have to feel it to heal it. And the arts are essential for that. And so no one can do our work for us. Like, we have to do it ourselves. Just like no one can drink water for us, we have to drink it ourselves. No one can feel our feelings for us. We have to feel it ourselves. And a lot of the time in the morning, there's a lot that's coming up. So that's a good time to surrender it on paper and then slip into a meditation, either a silent meditation or a guided meditation. But there's got to be a balance of both: total silence and then sometimes the guided ones as well. Because you can't really replace like total silence, because you really have a lot come up, and do not be afraid. That's why I designed this meditation today, is to really give you the courage to know that if you have contrast, bless it. It's necessary for you to expand, and it means you are expanding, just like a character in a movie. We're no different, and we want to change. We want to shift. We want to evolve. We want to serve humanity. And sometimes when you think about a movie, you can see the bigger picture. I produce films. I'm working on some screenplays, but yeah, definitely check out the podcast, because part of the process of being a world changer or being a global citizen of the world, being a light worker, is, like I said, really expressing everything you have on paper, then meditating, making a list of your intentions and amends you want to make, changes you want to see, surrendering all that so you can meditate, and then going and carrying the message. And once you've done the first two things of the writing and the meditating, then you're spiritually awake, and you can be part of the spiritual awakening that's going around the whole world. One thing I see where people go wrong is we need a spiritual awakening and a psychic change every single day. We need magical movie moments every single day. We need to know how to get into alignment day to day, but also hour to hour, but also minute to minute, nanosecond to nanosecond, millisecond to millisecond. If we can really practice tuning in to that moment, we can really become a character that we can really be proud of, and that we can really root for, and other people can root for. And people like to see transformations. People like to see the character change. We love the character, even if they're not perfect. Usually they're not. But if they're willing to ask for help, and if you're meditating, if you're listening to something like this, you're obviously in a state of humility. Anyone out there, and that's a really, really noble thing. Little children are like that. They're very receptive to new ideas, and being present and playing and using their imagination. And then, yeah, listen to the podcast, because our host is Ben Decker. He's my meditation mentor, and he has some really special guests on there. I've worked on a lot of global event action movies. I've worked with on a team with Michael Bay and Ben Affleck and a lot of big people. And this podcast is so meaningful to me because it's so much about current events and the human condition, and it's reaching a lot of people in a different way. Like it's you have a little more creative control on a podcast, which I'm really appreciating. And I'm just trying to reach a global audience, and we're very popular in Italy, and there's definitely some surprises there. So definitely check that out, and definitely DM me or check out my music. It's on Apple Music. I have a couple albums, Light Shalom, Sounds of Comfort, and also Together as One. Those are the albums that are out. There's another one about healing the mother wound and ending child abuse called My Name is Cindy, which is like a mini movie. So, and songs are also soundtracks for our life, for our movie. So playlists are really they're everywhere now. We have some musical guests coming onto the podcast. A lot of even medical teams are using playlists to bring team members together. And I think it's brilliant. Ben Decker taught shamanic Reiki therapy. We had a shamanic Reiki therapy playlist that is it's flawless. It really puts you into a different frequency, a different vibration, so that you can really be more useful and more relevant to the universe on a day-to-day basis.
That sounds really great. I'm certainly going to check it out. I hope a lot of you do too, whether you're here or you're on the recording. But that's fascinating, and I love the idea of the teams and the unity, and the idea that really and truly we're all one team.
Right.
And that's what's so important, especially during these times that we're having right now.
Right.
So
right. Nope.
So I can't thank you
for what's right.
I can't thank you enough for being here and answering my questions, but I'm very interested in all these aspects of spirituality that are so wonderful. And I didn't introduce myself, by the way, to everybody. My name is Jean Lorio. They call me Auntie Jean, mostly because I'm very old and I forget things, but my nemesis is technology. So, so we got through that. But thank you so much. And I encourage everybody to continue looking up Ansley and her information, and EWN Network, which has wonderful spiritual programs. And this is a time when we really want to spiritually grow. I love what you said. If you're experiencing resistance, it's because you're expanding. And I think sometimes we think we experience resistance and we want to stop. No, that's just a sign that we're expanding and we're on the right track.
Right.
So keep tuning in, and thank you so much. I hope you do another meditation for us soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I would love to come back, and I think you're phenomenal, Jean. You're so inspiring, and I was thinking about technology as a potential antagonist. So I just love working with you on this. So
well, thank you so much. Well, it's such a pleasure, I tell you. And you're just so unusual. You're different, which is wonderful. No, really, I mean it in a nice way, because no one has really approached it that way before. from that perspective. But boy, I can see how that could be so important to your growth, you know, and keeping you out of that fear. So, okay, honey, I'm gonna let you go. I'll keep you here forever. So
have a wonderful day.
Okay.
I'm just
Oh, I think I have to turn this off